What is the one fear that may be holding you back from reaching your full potential? I'll talk about that and explain how to address it in this video. Hello, I'm Stephen Goldberg of Optimus Performance, bringing you practical tips and ideas on leadership, team development, and employee performance in the workplace. Now, fear is something we probably don't like to talk about because it brings up a weakness, and none of us want to admit our weaknesses or acknowledge them, especially in the face of others, unless they're close friends who we're confiding in about something. But we usually don't talk about that, especially in social situations. And when we talk about fear, it's usually related to a physical aversion to something or a self-protection. But we all have fears, and fear is a natural thing. We're born with it. We can't shake it. But what is your fear? What is my fear? How do we know what fear is holding us back from being everything we can be, from using our full potential? And what I mean by that is we live in a world where we have to interact with others, and if our motivations drive us to use certain qualities in abundance, our fears will hold us back from using those qualities, or actually cause us to overuse the qualities, and this can be perceived as negative by others. For example, if somebody is the type of person that their main motivation is accomplishment, getting things done, their fear would be ineffectiveness. So people would see in them a go-getter, a doer, somebody who makes things happen, full of energy. But when this person sees things being ineffective, either somebody is doing something that they feel is the wrong way to do it, or they're not doing it fast enough, and they're the manager, they may use their take charge quality to reprimand the person, to become aggressive with them. But in their mind, they're just being effective. But in the other person's mind, or the way the other person sees it, would be this person is aggressive, they're autocratic, they're telling me what to do, I know what to do, I'm doing it my way. And this happens a lot in the workplace. So what's driving that? And there are 6 classic types of people. I've been making videos about this recently because I'm launching free workshops to have people learn about their type in an interactive, participative way. So going to be online workshops. They may have already been launched depending when you're watching this video. So you could sign up for that. There's a link in the show notes of this video or the podcast version. And in this workshop, you can learn the 6 classic types and which type is your classic core type. And what's associated with that? What are the qualities of these types? What are the fears of these types? What's the motivation? What's the negative tendencies when the qualities are overused as a self-protection mechanism? So all these things affect how we see life, how we see the world, how we interact with others, whether we're a leader or a team member. It impacts our relationships, our way of performing things, and makes it kind of interesting, of course, but in another way makes it complicated because we don't understand each other. We haven't learned why certain people behave a certain way. And this is not something that's learned as we grow up, it's actually much deeper than that, this method. It's really about your core, how you were born, how things were aligned in you, or how they're set in you, and there's really not much you can do about it other than becoming aware of it, understanding it, how it impacts you, how it impacts others. And once you learn that, then you could choose the thing, the biggest fear or the symptom of that fear, and start working on that. And that's what I teach in this workshop, is not only to learn about your type and the other classic types, but how to use goal setting, a specific form of goal setting, to work on the thing that may be causing you the most impact in a negative sense, whether it be in relationships or otherwise in just executing things that you need to do. So fear is something that's inborn in us. It's natural, and I'm not talking about the fear of somebody is robbing you. That's a good fear too. But I'm talking about the fear that we all have relative to our type, so it varies by person to person. Of course, our personality, our upbringing could also cause other fears, but those are layered on top. I'm not going to get into those. Those can be worked out as well through self-knowledge, but more through specific types of coaching or therapy as well. If you have a lot of guilt, or if you're blaming people for certain things that happen in your life, those are not related to the type of person and how you were born at your core. That's more an upbringing issue, behavioral tendency, and that can also be corrected. But your core fear is not something that will ever go away. It's something you carry with you, but you can control it or overcome it to a certain degrees. And this is what I'll talk about in the workshop. So if that interests you, I'm making it available for free, just to share it with the public, because it had such a great benefit for me when I learned this from my coach and mentor, Fritz Glaus, who actually wrote a book about it called Crazy to Know Thyself Made Easy, which is also available. I'll put a link to that as well. So I hope you find this interesting. If you stuck around to the end of it, you probably did, and you'd like to check out the workshop, so check the links in the show notes, and I hope to see you there. In the meantime, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk again soon.